What's up, guys? Green Bay Peyton is back, and Super Bowl week is here. It is right around the corner as Super Bowl 52 will be held this Sunday between the New England Patriots and the Philadelphia Eagles. Will it be one of the greatest Super Bowls of all time, or will it be just a dud and a blowout? Who knows, but hopefully it's exciting enough to keep us glued to our TVs, just like the past recent Super Bowls have been doing. And in honor of Super Bowl week, I'm going to be counting down my list of the top 10 Super Bowls of all time. Now, if you are a classmate of mine at school, then you probably know my talent of knowing all the Super Bowls, how they went down, the scores, MVPs, yada yada yada. So you can trust me not to botch this list like NFL Films does every time they make a top 10 list. Seriously, NFL Films, you gotta hire me at some point. Number 10, Super Bowl XIII. Super Bowl XIII was a battle between two of the greatest teams in the 70s, the Dallas Cowboys and the Pittsburgh Steelers, as both teams were fighting it out for a perennial dynasty. At first, the game was close, with the score being 14-14 at the end of the half, but to start the third quarter, tight end Jackie Smith dropped a touchdown pass from Roger Staubach in which he was wide open, and that would plague the Cowboys throughout the rest of the game. Pittsburgh jumped out to a huge 35-17 lead with 6 minutes and 50 seconds left in the game, and at that point many thought it was over. People were starting to leave the game, especially Cowboys fans and Cowboy media people. And Dallas came back just out of nowhere. Roger Staubach threw 2 touchdowns in the final 6 minutes of the game. With 22 seconds left, he threw a touchdown to Drew Pearson in the end zone to make the score 35-31 and to make it a one-possession close game again. The Cowboys went for the onside kick because they really had no choice, and the kick was no good as Rocky Bleier, running back for the Pittsburgh Steelers and soldier in the Vietnam War, recovered the onside kick, and the Pittsburgh Steelers won the game 35-31. Number 9, Super Bowl XXXVI. Tom Brady, need I say more? At halftime, though, the Rams players and fans were rightfully stunned as the Patriots were beating them 14-3 at halftime after Ty Law got a pick 6 off of Kurt Warner and Tom Brady threw a touchdown pass to David Patton, which would be the only offensive touchdown for the Patriots in that game. In the fourth quarter, it looked like the game was over when Kurt Warner threw a pick 6, but it was called back due to defensive holding. The Rams took advantage as Kurt Warner snuck in for a touchdown to cut the Patriots' lead to 17-10. Later in the fourth quarter, Kurt Warner threw a touchdown pass to Ricky Frohl to tie the game with about a minute and a half left in regulation time. Many expected the Patriots, even the experts up in the broadcast booth, expected the Patriots to kneel down and play for overtime. But that's when Belichick told Brady to go for the field goal to win it at the end. Tom Brady hit J.R. Edmond 3 times, all for positive gains, and got out of bounds, I think, 2 of the 3 times, which was great clock management by the Patriots. And at that point, everyone knew that the Patriots were going to win. At least most people should have thought that. And with 7 seconds to go, Tom Brady spiked the ball and set up an Adam Vinatieri 48-yard game winner as the clock ran out on the 2001 NFL season, and the Patriots were crowned Super Bowl champions for the first time in franchise history. Number 8, Super Bowl XLVII. This game was a matchup between 2 teams, the Baltimore Ravens and the San Francisco 49ers, and 2 brothers who were head coaching those teams. John Harbaugh, head coach of the Ravens, and Jim Harbaugh, head coach of the 49ers. This game was mostly known for the blackout in the middle of the third quarter when the Ravens were leading the game 28-6. But that's not the reason this made the list. The reason this made the list was because it was a close game, and the Niners made it a close game after the blackout and came back from a 22-point deficit and almost won the game at the end. The game's first 31 minutes were a bore as it was all Baltimore, and they made the score 28-6 after a Super Bowl record 109-yard kickoff return by Jacoby Jones to start the second half. Then, after the blackout, The 49ers stormed back with a Michael Crabtree 31-yard catch-and-run touchdown, and then the momentum shifted. The Niners came back to make the score 34-29 nearing the end of the fourth quarter. The Niners were 5 yards away from what would have been a game-winning touchdown. They passed on all 4 attempts and missed all 4 attempts. Kaepernick, under pressure on 4th and goal, threw it for Michael Crabtree in the back of the end zone and overthrew him, and the pass went incomplete. The Niners would get a safety as Sam Cook ran out of the back of the end zone, but the safety kick would not be returned for the touchdown, so therefore the Ravens would win Super Bowl 47 by a score of 34-31. Number 7, Super Bowl 38. This Super Bowl started scoreless the longest, as the first quarter was completely scoreless. The second quarter was brought back to life when Tom Brady hit Deion Branch for the first score of the game. That's when Tom Brady and Jake Delhomme started throwing point for point, because right after that, Jake Delhomme hit Steve Smith for a catch-and-run touchdown to tie the game. Only 49 seconds later, Brady hits David Givens in the end zone for another score for New England. And at the beginning of the fourth quarter, after the third quarter was another dud of a quarter, the Patriots were up 21-10, and then out of the blue, the Panthers scored 2 straight touchdowns to take the lead. The first was a 33-yard run by Deshaun Foster, and the next was an 85-yard pass to Muhsin Muhammad, which still stands as the longest touchdown pass in Super Bowl history. After the game became tied 29-29 after Ricky Frohl caught another game-tying touchdown against the Patriots, kicker John Casey made one of the dumbest mistakes in Super Bowl history. Now, whatever was going through his mind, that's his ordeal. It might have just been a miscommunication between his brain and his foot, but whatever happened. He kicked the ball out of bounds on the kickoff. So that put the Patriots at the Panthers' 40-yard line to start the drive with 1:08 left. And at that point, I'm thinking everyone knew that the Patriots would win the game. Because after that, the Patriots drove down the field to put Adam Vinatieri within field goal range as he kicked a 41-yard game-winning field goal to beat the Panthers 32-29 in Super Bowl 38. Number 6, Super Bowl 25. This Super Bowl is mainly remembered for Scott Norwood's wide right miss that started the Buffalo Bills' 4-game losing streak in the Super Bowl. Either way, wide right is one reason this made the list. Another reason was just because how close it was and the strategic play by Bill Parcells. Before the game, Bill Parcells told his team 3 words: shorten the game. And that's what the Giants did. They controlled the ball for 40 minutes of the game. Just let that sink in. That's the most a team has controlled the ball in an entire Super Bowl. 2/3 of the game. Main reason the Giants won. They kept the K-Gon offense on the sideline. But even with that, the score was 12-3 after a safety by Bruce Smith almost became a touchdown if Hostetler let go of the football. Hostetler almost got stripped but hung on to the football for only a safety. If that was a touchdown, the Bills would have won. The Giants still fought back after that, scoring 14 straight points to take a 17-12 lead. And with 8 seconds left, the score was 20-19. Jim Kelly drove the Buffalo Bills down the field and set up a Scott Norwood 47-yard field goal. The Bills had hope, even though before that, Scott Norwood had never made a 47-yard field goal on grass. That proclamation would still be true after the field goal because the kick had the distance and it was wide right, no good. And since that, wide right has entered the sports lexicon and will never leave. And after that, the Giants won the Super Bowl as they kneeled down on the ball with 4 seconds left and gave the Giants a 20-19 victory.